In 2002, highlighting the International Year of the Mountains, the Human Development International and partner organizations has made the call to save Mount Apo and the mountains of the world. And even years before that, HDI has raised the said concern and together with partners made efforts to face the enormous challenges that continue to the present times. Many has made notable sacrifices in order to save, protect, and restore the mountain. And some has almost died in its dedication to save this tribal god's abode. And together we made Mount Apo as tall as other mountains as it championed the cause of the mountain by the call made at its summit that was endorsed by then UN Secretary General Kofi Anan, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and former President Fidel Ramos and other leaders. Today, the call does not only frontline Philippine global environment advocacies, but already has become a global movement as it contributed inputs in the UN Resolution on Sustainable Mountain Development in collaboration with DENR, DFA, and the Philippine Mission to the UN in New York. Recently, the movers of the call are saddened that years of collaborative efforts and the very essence of the call can just be ruined by an irresponsible decision to open the Davao del Sur side to climbing activities despite the forewarning and the recommendation to ban climbing activities during the drought period, as well as being numb to the advice of the majority of the board and the people's sentiments that Mount Apos' interest and safety must not be jeopardized. Such insensitive and irresponsible decision poses danger to Mount Apo and the planet, knowing that every year forest fires wreak devastation across the world, contributing to the greenhouse effect. The movers of the call denounces this decision due to the vulnerability of the mountains to forest fires during this period. In the United States and Australia, during summer when vegetation dries out that increases the risk of fire, camping activities are prohibited. And how much more Mount Apo that is being plagued by the drought's intense heat, where forest vegetation has gone dry, becoming dry fuel that burns easily and spreads with the prevailing high temperature. Even if they say that climbers have already booked and arrangements made, the safety of the mountains must not be breached. Yes, they say that more than 800 climbers have climbed this Lenten season with no fire occurrence. But this is even worse because we have risked the safety of the mountains. Safety is an ultimate, much so that the probability of forest fire is high, and so much is at stake that climbing should have been not allowed. We should adhere strictly to the culture of prevention rather than the culture of reaction, much so that we don't have the capability and the resources to put off forest wildfires. Thus, prevention should be an ironclad policy. No amount of insistence and justification can outweigh safety, for it is an ultimate safeguard. The decision to close some of its side to climbing activities and open its Davao del Sur side is meaningless, for it does not address the issue of preventing forest fires during this prevailing drought. In fact, it is no solution at all. This indecision to execute a unified and concerted action poses a serious threat to the safety of the mountains, much so that if this practice is allowed to continue, it will compromise the protected areas and management board's effectiveness to make sound policy decisions that serve the interests of the mountains. That must be rectified to make PAMB a cohesive force that do not look at their own interest but the interest of the whole. Friends, Mount Apo through the years has taught us so many things, including the hard lessons of the forest fires in the 80s, 90s, and others, that there is a need for us, being endowed with greater intelligence, not only to be in command of one's physical habits, but also of one's desires, one's mind, and become attuned to the laws of nature, and apply what we have been taught. Thus, if we must control our thoughts, dictate our actions, and be conscious of our responsibilities as guardians of Mount Apo, with the knowledge that our lives beat as one with this precious natural legacy, then through individual and collective actions, we can save and restore this important life-giving resource, Mount Apo.
Tara na tumawa sa mundong puno ng sala. Dito tayo'y pantay-pantay, higpitan mong hawak sa aking kamay. Isa lang ang iyong mundo, huwag mong tatapusin. Tawag at nandyan na